Good evening. Tonight's student showcase is from Spring Park Elementary from their music teacher, Miss Caitlin Tobias. Spring Park offers several clubs for scholars to express their musical abilities. Tonight, they are excited to share performance by their Bucket Drumming Club. The group consists of a mixture of new and returning 4th through 6th grade members. Several of our multi-talented scholars are also part of other organizations such as chorus, safety patrol, robotics, track, and math team. These scholars meet once a week after school to work on rhythm, reading, and percussion techniques while incorporating pop, rock, jazz, and other various musical genres. Tonight, they will be performing 3 pieces. The first is a drumline style cadence set to words from a Shel Silverstein poem, and the other 2 selections are set to music chosen by the scholars themselves. We hope you enjoy their performance.
I stepped in something yucky as I walked by the creek. I grabbed a stick to scrape it off. The yuck stuck to my stick. I tried to pull it off the stick. The yuck stuck to my hand. I tried to wash it off, but it stuck to the washing pan. I called my dog to pull me loose. The yuck stuck to his fur. He rubbed himself against the cat. The yuck got stuck to her. My friends and neighbors came to help. Now all of us are stuck, which goes to show what happens when one person steps in yuck.
This is something new, the Casper Slide Part 2, featuring the Platinum Band. And this time, we're gonna get funky. 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 Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now, we're gonna do the basic step. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha now, y'all. Now it's time to get funky. To the right now. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Get funky with it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 5 hops this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Right foot again. Left foot again. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Check it out, y'all. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? How low can you go? Can you bring it to the top? Like you never, never stop? Can you bring it to the top? 1 hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. 1 hop this time. Reverse. Reverse. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Reverse, reverse. Reverse, reverse. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops, 2 hops. 2 hops, 2 hops. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Charlie Brown. Hop it out now. Slide to the right. Slide to the left. Take it back now, y'all. Cha-cha now, y'all. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Do that stuff. Do it. Do it. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace. Peace.
Thank you, guys. Great job. Student Art Showcase is also by Spring Park Elementary. So thank you, Spring Park Elementary Art and Miss Reardon, for the beautiful artwork on display this evening. The artwork showcased students from kindergarten to 6th grade as they explore different mediums, including printmaking, watercolor, tempera, collage, pencil, and crayon, focusing on the elements of art and the principles of design. Students are not only learning new techniques, they are also learning the language of art and how to express themselves both creatively and verbally. Thank you. Is Pastor James Eunice present? Mr. James, Pastor James, are you present? Is Pastor James Eunice present? At this time, we're going to have board member Ms. Gilhausen say the invocation and lead us in the pledge.
If you guys will stand with me. Let's go to the Lord together. Heavenly Father, thank you for the joy that's in this room tonight. Thank you for the reminder of the privilege we have of engaging with young minds and young hearts every day. Help us to encourage that enthusiasm that they have. Help us to develop them to be lifelong learners, and ultimately help us to lead them into you, into your truth, Lord. Father, as we meet together tonight to discuss the business of this board, I pray that you would guide our decisions, that you would guide our discussion, and Father, that we would seek to glorify you in all that we say and in all that we do. May we represent you well. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call to order the school board meeting for March 6, 2025. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on an agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card located at the side entry door indicating the specific item number or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly to one of our officers. If you have items that you would like to present to the school board or superintendent, please hand them to an officer who will distribute them accordingly. Speakers who wish to address specific agenda items will be heard following the recognitions and award portion of the meeting. Speakers wishing to address non-agenda items will be heard following the adoption of the consent agenda. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcome and appreciated. At this time, we are going to start with recognitions and awards, and the recognition of students receiving Gold Key Awards in Scholastic Art Contest, Mr. Chris Google from the Fine Arts Curriculum Specialist.
Community. Tonight, we are honored to recognize 4 outstanding student artists who have earned high honors in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, the nation's longest-running and most prestigious recognition program for creative teens. Since 1923, the Scholastic Awards have celebrated young artists and writers, with past recipients including Andy Warhol, Stephen King, and Amanda Gorman. Students who enter this competition compete in a range of visual arts and writing categories, and their work is judged by a panel of professional artists, educators, and industry experts. Pieces are evaluated on originality, technical skill, and the emergence of a personal voice or vision. Students may receive honorable mention, a silver key, or the highest regional honor, a gold key. Gold Key winners automatically advance to the national level, where they have the opportunity to earn national medals, scholarships, and exhibition opportunities. This year, 4 of our students have earned the prestigious Gold Key Award for their exceptional artistic achievements. Students, as I call your name, please come forward to receive your recognition. Please remain up front until all students are recognized, at which time we will take a picture of the group with any teachers or admin who are present. At this time, I'd like to recognize and congratulate our students. I believe our first 2 are not present this evening. They had prior engagements. But Allison Tompkins, Lakeside Junior High, receiving 1 gold key. Katie Moffitt, Lakeside Junior High, receiving 1 gold key. Haley Nalipa, Lake Asbury Junior High, receiving 1 gold key. And Jaden Poole of Fleming Island High, receiving 4 gold keys. Teachers and administrators, if you are present, if you'd like to come up real quick for a picture. Congratulations again, students.
Next up is the athletics recognition of state champions with Mr. Jay Stillano, coordinator of district athletics.
athletics, not IT. As always, I just want to say thank you to Superintendent Broski and the school board for the opportunity to stand up here today and recognize these incredible student athletes, coaches, teams, individuals. You know, for me, it's always cool to do this. Where are we at? Right here? We're on? Awesome. So for me, it's always cool to be able to stand up here, but I certainly don't want to take this for granted. And what I mean by that is to win a state championship, it's rare. And Clay County is just so special. It's a special place that it seems like we're always doing this. But I don't want to sell it short. And what I mean by that is state champion and capturing a state championship, that's elite. You know, that's special. And so for the opportunity to come up and highlight these individuals and to celebrate them, to honor them, I can't thank you guys enough for that. All right, and so for me, athletics, anywhere I've been in leadership at any school, athletics to me is a tool. Anybody who's worked with me knows that. It's a tool to get kids to be successful. That's what it is. That barbell, those pom-poms, or whatever it is, that is a tool for me to engage with those kids, to get them to show up to school, to get them to achieve a GPA, to get them to teach them life skills that hopefully that they're going to go on and be successful citizens, moms, dads, employees, employers. That at the end of the day is our job. Winning state championships is awesome. That's what we want to do, but that's not necessarily our job. And that's the expectation and standard in Clay County. And I'd have to say, just based on us today, you know, I think we're doing a pretty good job. So that said, before we highlight all the amazing things that we're doing in the field, so to speak, I want to talk about some of the things that we're doing when it comes to the classroom. So if we look up, this is just our winter report card. So it's 56 programs. So we're talking about thousands of athletes, a cumulative GPA of a 3.3. Which is extremely impressive, in my opinion. We have over 45 teams with a 3.0 and 10 teams with 3.5 or higher. We also want to point out a couple of individual teams. So when it comes to the ladies, the highest GPA is Clay High Girls Soccer, and with a 3.706. Yeah, I thought I was going to have to do a dance or something like the little kids, they get to clap. So when I called Stephanie Wall to let her know that, like she was so excited. Like that meant as much as winning a district title to her. Because again, that's what we're trying to do. You know, we want to win championships, but this is what's important. All right, soccer, football, baseball, it ends for everybody at some point in time. Again, have we done enough to instill in them to make them better citizens? And then for the males and for the boys, a 3.432, Fleming Island boys soccer, and their leader, Roger Daly, as we can imagine, that's important to him, right? All right, let's talk about state champions. Come on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the athletic director, Miss Mallory Borden, to come up, and she's going to call the names as we hand out. But the first team that we're going to recognize is Middleburg High School. And so absolutely. So they captured the 2A state championship in girls weightlifting. As a matter of fact, what I want to say is this. When it comes to weightlifting, there's two categories. So there's a traditional and there's an Olympic. And in Clay County, what we said in 2A is we'll take both of those state titles and bring them back to Clay County with us. And that's exactly what we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Mallory, and I'll let you call her names, Mallory. When we call up your name, just come up and be recognized, and just stand up here for the remainder of your team.
Thank you so much for having us. This is the place to be. A lot of champions in the room and a lot of clanking of medals, which always a good thing to hear. So we'll get rolling with our girls. Ash Pinero. Trinity Woodley. Kenzie Alexander. Jules White. Emily Heron. Her sister, Riley Heron. KK Hagan, she is not with us. She is at a softball game right now playing the county foe Oak Leaf, so it should be a good game tonight. Kaylee Johnson. Madison Underwood. Kira Clarida is also at the softball field. Lily Williams. Ava Klinkscale. Assistant coach Ben Trawick. Assistant coach Chase Weiskopf. And our head coach, Rhiannon Weiskopf.
Also, on behalf of the girls weightlifting team, we would like to present all the school board members with shirts, and we would like to present Mr. Broski and Mr. Stillano with medals, because we're so thankful for all your support throughout the season.
If AFTUC wins something, you better believe you're getting something. You show up in the middle of high school, you're eating, and there's cookies and candy and Taco Tuesday. Like, he knows how to keep teachers. All right, we also had a couple individuals that won state titles. This young lady, her first time competing at state, and all she did was win the traditional and Olympic. Remember, I told you there's two categories for the 119-pound class in 2A, and that's Miss Brady Johnson. And I'm going to ask the state winning girls weightlifting coach to announce the names.
Thanks for having me, school board members. Thank you, parents, Fleming Island, for all your support. And thank you, girls, for allowing me to be your coach. And thank you to my wife, Kimberly, for being the best coach's wife ever. And congratulations to Middleburg. You could even ask your coaches. When we won Olympic, the first thing I went and found Middleburg's coach. And I said, now it's your turn. And I'll tell you what, like, girls' weightlifting is the coolest thing ever, because even though Middleburg's kind of our rival, like, we root for them, they root for us, and it's just the most positive sportsmanship you ever seen in your life. Like, these kids encourage each other, and genuinely, like, our team was rooting for Middleburg. I think they're rooting for us, and it was so cool that Clay County could go and do what we did. So I'm going to call up the rest of our team here, starting with Kyla Marshall. Haley Elkins. Catherine Ward. She's not with us tonight, but Lily Osteen. Juliana Sosa. My daughter, Peyton Coltis. And also not with us, Layla DiCristofaro. And the best assistant coach a guy could ever ask for, Leah Anderson.
It's so awesome to hear about the sportsmanship and those things. Just the little things that are being taught and acted out. In these particular meets and games. That's what it's all about. All right, our next group. I feel like we call them like every year up here. I feel like all they do is win. Back-to-back state champs. Clay High cheerleading. I'm going to ask Coach Mo to come up and help me call out the names. I think this is Coach Davis's 5th state championship, 5th or 6th. So, yeah. And one thing you have to think about or remember when we talk about the girls weightlifting, I think both those coaches would tell you, because I know this for a fact. It's not a year. Like, this isn't like a season. That was 4 years for them to win that state title. I remember Coach Coltis at Fleming Island saying, we didn't win a match our first year. And 4 years later, they're state champs. That's, again, perseverance, right? Adversity, that's what we're talking about. And I've watched the cheerleading team at Clay High, how hard they practice. Like, it's ridiculous. So, again, I think talent is DNA and God-given, and I think greatness is earned, and they certainly earn greatness. So, with that, your 1A co-ed medium state champs, Clay High cheerleading.
Superintendent Broski, school board members, thank you. Coach Stino, thank you guys for allowing us to be here today to honor this amazing group. As he already said, I mean, this is probably one of the hardest working teams that we have on our campus. So, and you can see the testament. First up, Miss Amaya Pena. Next, Miss Ashlyn Miles. Miss Bailey Colbert. Miss Carly Kierbo. Miss Chloe Whitmarsh. Miss Emily Winkler. Jordan Stacy, I do not believe was able to make it. Nope. Jordan Stacy. Miss Kaylin Mitchell. Miss Personality Plus, Miss Kylie Horn. Miss Madison Garza. Miss Morgan McMinn. Mr. Noah Johnson. Mr. Otis Reynolds. Miss Sage Knapp was not able to be here due to a college class. Miss Sophia Hanson. Miss Taylor Ledford. Mr. Tyler LaBelle. And Miss Zayden Mary. Assistant coach Daniel Richardson, I do not believe is here tonight, but our amazing 5-time state champion, Miss Lori Davis.
All right, and then the last state champion that we want to honor. I was telling Coach Mo this. I think you can make an argument that, and I mean this because this is a bold statement, that she could be, again, arguably, maybe the greatest athlete that's came out of Clay County. And we've had some greats. When you think about Caleb Dressel and you think about the people that have came through in swimming and different and other sports, like it's pretty impressive. All this young lady has done is won 4 state championships from the time she was a freshman. And she said that wasn't good enough. So what she did is she went out and she set a state record every single year, freshman, sophomore, junior year. And then this year in the snatch lift, she lifted 185 pounds. 4-time state champion, Miss Emma Heck. Again, thank you guys for allowing us to recognize these awesome athletes.
I just have to say, girls' sports are rocking it in Clay County. Can we get a hand for that?
All right. Next up is Ed First Citizens Advisory Committee update from Ms. Bryce Ellis, Assistant Superintendent of Operations.
All right, good evening. Can you hear me okay? All right, good evening. Thank you, Superintendent, School Board, for having me here today. I'm honored to work for the school district. We've got a great district. I wanted to talk today about the half-cent sales tax. I'll do a quick presentation of the projects we've done, receipts and revenues, and a little bit about the committee oversight, and have the vice chair from that committee speak to you at the end of the presentation to validate all of our expenditures are in line with Florida statute. So just a brief history on the half-cent sales tax for schools. Per Florida statute, school boards are authorized to levy a capital outlay sales tax. The board at the time, recognizing a need, went out for this sales tax. They approved a resolution in 2020 to levy this, to put it to the voters, to add this to levy to the November ballot in an effort to support our facilities. So the rules for Florida statutes and boards is they can levy a tax and ask the voters. It depends on different counties, how many years they want to put that tax out. If you know anything about some of our surrounding districts, a couple of them have gone out for maybe 4 years at a time, or they'll go out for 12 years. When we put out the referendum, we asked the voters to approve a 30-year sales tax. This means in 2020, when they passed it, when they approved it, thank you to the voters, we won't have to go out for it again until 2050. So we're so thankful and grateful that we're able to receive these funds for our school district. 30 years, yay. So what does that mean, big picture, 30 years? So when we first went out for this, the expected revenue stream was $13.5 million. And we thought, okay, that's amazing, that's great, but you guys all know how much things cost. We've talked about it over and over again. Air conditioning for one of our big high schools ends up being millions of dollars. So, of course, we're anticipating this to grow 3%. Standard CPI every year. So this is a conservative estimate. So the first 4 years in gray are actual receipt, and I have it blown up on another slide. And then the anticipated receipt, again, with the 3% conservative estimate, we're hoping over 30 years to receive $813 million. That is a huge, huge deal. And I just want to again, thank the voters for passing this, because I don't know where our district would be without it. So we meet with the advisory committee quarterly. We go over the receipt quarterly with the members. We also work closely, of course, with our business affairs and make sure that we're receiving exactly what Florida Revenue has reported. So anybody can go to the Florida Department of Revenue and see how much we're bringing in, or any other district for that matter. And this is just broken down month by month. I follow it every month. I go to Florida Department of Revenue, I check with Business Affairs, and we make sure we're getting what we're supposed to receive. Receipt is based on a 2-month delay, so something, kind of nerdy we like to do is, what did we get for November, December, when everybody's out shopping. So you just need to look 2 months in advance. So in February is really when we receive the November, December collections. And the report for last year, we reached $18.4 million. I did want to point out, we break out at the bottom of that. The estimated, it fluctuates depending on student counts, but the average is about 5% that goes to our charter schools, and we do share that with them. This is just the revenue that we've actually received, just a blow up from that first slide of all the years. And the first year you'll see, because we operate from July 1 to June 30, that first year, because it was approved in December, we started receipts in January. We only received a half fiscal year, so that's why you see the $7 million. And then every year after that, we're going from our fiscal year, which is July to June 30. And right now, we're only showing the July, I wanted to show the 24-25 receipts so far. So that's actually only through December, which we're on track right now to reach $20 million by the end of our fiscal year in the middle of the summer. This is just the expense annually that we report, and we show all the projects to our committee. I will go into that a little bit more. This is a snapshot of our website. We work also with the committee too, trying to get feedback from them. What do they want to see more of? What kind of questions are they getting from friends, family, public? And we want them to bring those to us to let us know how we can report better or what can we show more of. We've gotten a new website, and we're also working on a new dashboard for our Ed First projects as well. So that will be rolling out. This is what it looks like right now, but some new up-to-date information and graphics forthcoming. I did hand out a list of the projects that we report to the board. We have carryover projects. We don't have anything that's ever really, starts on July 1, ends of June 30 that year. So there's a carryover year. There's a 23-24 year in your packet, and then what we've started in the 24-25 year and where it is. There's a notes section with a brief comment of where those projects are. Do you guys have any questions before we get to pictures? Okay. So just a little bit of what we've done. When we first went out, when we first started receiving these sales tax, it came in very slowly. So we were like, well, what are some things we can do to show the community that we're doing something with this money, their sales tax dollars at work? So we started with the digital signs, and we started at every high school to try to touch every region to show them, hey, this is, your sales tax dollars at work. And the reception has been huge. Again, we're chipping away at them as we receive the funds. We complete more and more, and I hope that you guys are seeing that around the county. Ridgeview High School track, this was completed. This was January of 24 of last year. Doctors Inlet playgrounds. Now, these are just kind of a snapshot. We've had a lot of playgrounds on our project lists over the years. We also remind the committee that this isn't our only fund source, so that just because it's not on a list here doesn't mean that something's not happening at a school or that a project's not happening. It just may be happening with another fund source. We do try to be totally transparent with the committee, and I hope once the vice chair is able to speak that he lets you know. We try to answer all their questions, and if they want us to change anything reporting wise, we try to work with them. But yeah, this is just an example of some of the older replay equipment. It's really hard to see on the left-hand side. It's just, the old bars, old pull-up bars, slides and swings are the thing. So they enjoy that. Covered play areas, this is an example of one. We've been able to complete now. This year we did Argyle and Oakley Village. This means that every elementary school has a covered play area, outdoor covered play area, which is great, especially in Florida with the sun and the rain. And PE, they're able to be outside without being affected as badly with those. Bathroom renovations, the whole need for Ed First, a lot of it we said wasn't going to be very glamorous. It was going to be a lot of bathrooms and roofing and air conditioning projects. So we do put those on our lists and have those in our projects. We show photos of those. They're just not as exciting to see, an air conditioning unit, but something that, if it's not working, you're going to hear about it. So, but this is, a restroom renovation, Orange Park Junior High School. This is in the main building, the larger group restrooms in the cafeteria, media centers, and we are actually currently in design right now to do the rest of the campus there, the rest of the classroom buildings. Middleburg High School, this was phase 2. A couple years ago, we did phase 1. The group restrooms, this means a male and a female, the larger group restrooms before in progress, and you'll see differences in prices depending on the schools, depending on the ages. A lot of times once we get in there, you'll see we're not just painting the walls and putting in new fixtures. We get in there and look at the plumbing and, oh gosh, what do we have here? We might have to go deeper, cut the walls back further, cut into the floors. So It varies from school to school, obviously, how much work we end up having to do, but we're not just putting, lipstick on it. We're really trying to take care of the problem. But that's the after. Another one, Orange Park Elementary. It was some of their quad classrooms, we call them. They weren't even using some of the bathrooms. They were just being used as storage, as you can kind of see on the left side. Paint and peeling. And again, we went in and dressed it up and fixed any of the major issues that they were having there. Lakeside Junior High, the gym locker room renovation. I believe this was the last junior high to get their locker room renovated. And if you look at the picture on the right, you can kind of see just kind of dingy looking, the ceilings and the lights. It's kind of hard to tell in these pictures. The lockers are pretty beat up. They're the same ones that I used a long time ago. And here they are, refreshed, brand new. We bring the lockers down, any new lockers we put in, we bring them down to the 48 inches, just a line of sight, and supervision for the kids. And then you can see lights are replaced, ceiling is replaced, and just a total refresh. The Clay High Track project, this actually, it says completion spring 2025. I think it was actually this week we did a substantial completion on it. So for graduation, they should be ready to go for that. The Orange Park High Media Center, a lot of you, I think, visited the opening. Another project that was really exciting. I really love the story here. The architect for this job actually went to Orange Park High in the CTE program, took a drafting class, became an architect, full circle. He was able to go back to his school and renovate the media center. And it's amazing, and the students love it. And the students were really touched by just, oh, at our school, and that's the most rewarding part of this whole thing, is to see the students enjoy it. Clay High parking lot. This was it under construction. Try not to look at Facebook when we're doing these kind of projects, because there's a lot of what are they doing? Why does anything need to be done? I think the after was amazing, and I've heard nothing but good comments. I think it really changed just the whole look of that school up front. We added almost 200 parking places. If you've ever been there after school when the kids are leaving, it's just a totally different feel. One of our less glamorous projects, roofing projects, and the Keystone Heights Visitor Concession Stand. So this was the last high school that did not have a visitor side concession stand. Excuse me. Went ahead and that finished in December of 24, and they're ecstatic. They really enjoy it. Just want to point out that we post all of our stuff on the website under the transparency at the top, and then under half-cent sales tax, Ed First. We call it Ed First. Some people moving in might not know it as Ed First, so we call it half-cent sales tax or Ed First, either one of those interchangeable. So again, updates to the website are forthcoming. And now I would like to invite Mr. Glenn Stroman up to the podium to just give a brief overview of what the advisory committee is like, and to validate that everything we have spent the monies on is in accordance with the statute.
Thank you, Bryce. Good evening, Superintendent, Board, citizens. My name is Glenn Stroman, and I'm the Vice Chairman of the Citizens Advisory Committee. I think Bryce's team has done a remarkably great job in providing us the information, and more importantly, answering the questions that we have, because every district has at least 2 or 3 multiple representatives who attend this committee. And every time they're bringing to the committee information from their peers about what's going on in my school. Why are my kids being subjected to one bathroom when there's 300 kids? It's just not fair. Luckily, they've done a fantastic job answering our questions, and we go back and we tell our neighbors what a great job that Clay County has for their students and how they're making huge improvements. I assure you, with looking at the numbers, that without this half-cent sales tax, you would not have air-conditioned spaces, you would not have updated bathrooms. When I say updated, I don't mean modern fixtures. I mean they've gone back and fixed a bunch of the problems that are already existing. And that sales tax, that half-cent sales tax is huge. It is huge. We could use more. So citizens out there, please, please shop Clay County and spend your money in Clay County. Thank you. I validate that all the information in the report is accurate as we've reviewed it quarterly. Thank you.
And we've included the validation that he has signed in your packet as well. Any questions?
I was just going to say thanks to Glenn. Don't tell anybody, we went to college together.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, go ahead. No, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ellis. And I know a lot of people don't like to see projects of bathrooms and ACs. And I guess it's as you get older, those are the types of things that we don't always want to spend our money on, but I get excited even in my own house to see those things. So I really do appreciate it, especially when you're around Clay County for, I'm going to say, I haven't been around as long as others have, but I will say, going to these schools and being part of this community for a while, I really do appreciate us taking care of what we have and redoing it. And you guys do a great job in your department, fixing up and giving facelifts and making them work, not just look well, but work. Okay, so next up we have our school showcase, Spring Park Elementary, with Principal Tiffany Ottman. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to be here with you tonight to tell you all about the amazing things we have happening at Spring Park. This is my fantastic assistant principal, Michelle Caricato. I raised her as a baby teacher. And I said, "You're fantastic, you should go back to school," and she did. And then she did say no first, but now she said yes. And so I am happy to have her as my partner. So we are going to talk today about all of the great things that we do at Spring Park. As we start any class, we are going to talk about our learning target for the night. Tonight, we will learn about what a spectacular place Spring Park Elementary is for scholars in our community. Your success criteria, so you'll know you'll have it when you can understand all of the things that make Spring Park great and look forward to hearing about all of the good news that you will hear from us in the future. What you see on the screen is our school pledge that we say every day. We always start out with our announcements, and this is how we end them. Today is a new day. Owl, work hard. Owl, be kind, because we're the owls. And I will be my best at SPS. This is our vision and mission statement that you will see woven throughout our time together today. So what makes us Spring Park? We are in our second year, and our first year we earned an A as our school grade, and we are super excited about that. We did that with our teachers and our scholars, making our goals, and with the support of our community. Our school numbers, we have 712 scholars, 49 amazing teachers, 38 dedicated staff, and 2 joyously exhausted administrators. There's just 2 of us. Uh-oh. There we go. At our school, we are focused on standards-based work. As you will see in not only our classrooms, but in our hallways, we love showing what standard we're working on and all of our scholars and how they're progressing toward the standard. So we love showing off our work in the classroom and making sure that we have clear, measurable learning targets that align with national and state standards. We celebrated RAC Week. RAC Week is Random Act of Kindness Week. And so we did something like what you see on the screen for our open house, where parents were able to write messages to their scholars. And for RAC Week, we had all of the scholars write positive messages to their friends, their teachers. We have some shout outs on there. And it also encompasses all of the diversity of our school, because as you walk past it, you will see things in various languages, and really just bringing in we are representing all of who we are as Spring Park. We also have cross-content curriculum. So this is in our second grade hallway. We have connected learning, where we celebrated the 100th day of school and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So our scholars wrote 100 personal dreams for a better world, and we read books, and we posted this on our walls, and we just make real world connections throughout each subject. One of our favorite nights had just happened, actually, we've had now 2 of them, is Unplug Night. Unplug Night is simply a night where parents can come in and families can connect without screens. There are no screens. We do serve pizza, and we have board games, we have minute to win it games, and some of us get very competitive. Potentially it could be me. We have hands-on activities. This year, our art activity was a family tree where we used thumbprints of each of the family members, and they were able to take that home as a memento of the night. And it just is it's really calm. It just is awesome. We also celebrated Unity Day in October, where we talked about building that culture of respect and supporting positive inclusion and kindness. We also have set very high expectations for every scholar. This is an example where our second grade class created a wax museum where they each had a leader that they learned about, and then they were really into characters. So their culminating activity for their research project was they had a backboard, they dressed as the leader that they were representing and that they learned about, and they had a button on their backboard, or they had a real live button. And the visitors, I got to be one, were able to walk through, and they did not move either. They were very into their character. You could push the button, and then they would share with you all of the things that they learned. And it was just an amazing experience. So we love to highlight them. We also have safety patrols that do a great job keeping us safe and reminding us to be respectful of each other. We have our youth leadership team, which is connected to Special Olympics. So our youth leadership team goes out and helps our children in multi-grades and pre-K classes work on different sporting activities. And this helps build social skills and inclusion for all scholars. And we'll have our culminating activity for that coming up in the end of March. We also, I know that we celebrate Literacy Week once, right, in January, but we celebrate it all year. We love reading buddies. We have older kids reading to younger kids. We have scholars who are younger scholars love to read to our older scholars, so we make sure that we have time for those connections. And we have our friends from Clay High come in. We had our scholar athletes come in and be guest readers during our Literacy Week this year. We have before and after school clubs. You saw an amazing performance from our bucket drummers. We also have our track team, our robotics team, and we have a kindness club that goes and posts kind words all over our school. They created welcome gifts for our new teachers Everybody was new last year, but this year we had some new teachers join us, and so they got a welcome gift from our kindness club. And I was walking down the hall just today, and I saw that I should practice patience, and it's on the lowest tack track, so that everybody can read that as they go down the hall, which is what I needed to do when I was walking down the hall. We also love to celebrate our golden owls. So any staff, teacher, anybody, even their classmates can nominate someone for a golden owl if they go above and beyond our expectations. They get a positive phone call home, a certificate with a golden owl sticker on it, a magnet or a pencil, and they are pumped. They get so excited, and the parents get excited because they get a positive phone call home, and it's another one of our favorite things. And we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers. They help us make copies, they help us do so many amazing things, and we just love, love, love their support, and we really appreciate them. I think it was Mr. Stillino say that if he went to a secondary school, he was going to eat. Well, that's what we also do at Spring Park. We study the 7 mindsets each month, and each week we go through all of the different components of that. At the end of the month, scholars nominate the person in their class who has exhibited that 7 mindset that month, and they get to come and have principal pancakes. Another of my favorite parts of being at Spring Park is teachers learning together. I value so much feeding my teachers professionally, and they love learning together. So we always use data to drive instruction. My passion is peer observations. Teachers learn best when they get in each other's classrooms, and so we make that happen for them. We problem solve classroom challenges, we engage in PLC work, and then teachers are able to go in and give each other feedback. And I have my 20th visit lined up for after we come back from spring break. And not only do teachers learn together, but our teachers also grow together. We build a strong school culture with having structured fun. We have structured fun, Mr. Broski. That's what we have. Our teachers and staff look forward to all of these new traditions that we've started. We have our teacher Easter egg hunt that's coming up soon. We have adult trick-or-treating in the morning of Halloween. We have chili cook-offs, we have cookie exchanges, and we just have a lot of structured fun at Spring Park. We also have leaders growing leaders. We had our Clay High volunteers come and help us be reading buddies. They also are state champion cheerleading, came and led our storybook character parade. And they come and help with Unplugged Night. We are going to have a Night to Glow here coming up in April, where we have a night for our scholars with autism to come in to have various activities, and they are coming to volunteer for that. So we love our friends at Clay High, and we appreciate their volunteering. And if you don't remember anything else from this engaging presentation, please remember that at Spring Park Elementary, we work hard and we are kind. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. This is the last call for comment cards. And we have okay, so there is none for the agenda item. There's one more coming in. Alrighty, so we're going to continue on to Special Action A for Human Resources. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
I got a motion from Ms. Hanson. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And then we have Human Resource Special Action B. Can I get a motion?
Move approval?
Got a motion from Ms. Gilhausen. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Ms. Clark. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And then we have D5, proposed allocation package for 2025 and 2026. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved?
A motion from Ms. Gilhausen. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Alvaro. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, sorry. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have D6, the RFP award. And Ms. Gilhausen will abstain from voting on this item and has filed the appropriate paperwork for a voting conflict. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Hanson. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Clark. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Before we do so, there's a proclamation number 25-11 in support and celebration of the Clay County Agricultural Fair from April 3rd through 13th, 2025, and a proclamation number 25 to 12 proclaiming March 3rd through the 9th, 2025 as School Social Work Week. And then can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda?
Got a motion from Ms. Hanson. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Alvaro. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, and now we are going to have presentations from the audience for public comment addressing non-specific agenda items. First up, we have Miss Liz Crane, I believe is what this says. Make sure that you state your name and your address, please.
Hello. Oh, do I have to press a button? Do I have to? It's been a while, folks. Okay, good evening, Liz Crane. You have my address on file. I'm a teacher of 25 plus years with a master's degree in professional studies of English as a second language. I'm nationally board certified and the former CCA president from 08 to 11. My work with CCA extends well over 20 years. I'm here today due to some misinformation that's being stated in our schools regarding the Educators Professional Liability Insurance Program. The coverage is for wrongful acts committed by the instructional employee. A wrongful act, which is a negligent act, error, omission, breach of duty in the performance or failure to perform professional activities. In all of my time with the district, my work with CCA and FEA, I have never heard of a teacher receiving coverage from this program. Sadly, what I am hearing from teachers is that they're being told that they're covered for all acts, all wrongful acts. They're also being informed that teachers didn't even know of the program. Every year, Mr. Broski sends us an email advising us of this coverage, as he's required to do. However, this program will provide excess coverage only. The program pays after the district's own insurance coverage. This program would not cover a teacher who's made a mistake. This program would not cover a teacher who's being falsely accused by a parent for harming a student. The program would not cover a teacher with a complaint filed against them with professional service practices. While I was president, I represented many teachers who would not have been covered by this program. For example, I had 2 teachers who made a mistake during a back-to-school lesson. They took it a little bit too far. The district chose to report this incident to Professional Practice Services. Fortunately, they were able to have attorneys to represent them. At the end of the investigation, PPS declared that they didn't do anything unethical. Both teachers continue to teach today. They're well respected of their members of their schools, and both teachers went on to become respective School Teacher of the Year. The insurance program would not have covered them. Another example, a parent complained to a school that her son reported that he was hit by a teacher. This was completely false. The students were asked to sit in an area outside, and the student was asked to sit down. The teacher contacted me very concerned that DCF might have been called. That afternoon, DCF was at her home. An attorney was assigned that afternoon. After further investigation, it turned out that the parent had a history of falsely accusing teachers of abuse. The teacher went on to teach and was well loved by staff and students until she retired. The insurance program would not have covered that teacher. I would like to remind all teachers who are listening back home that this coverage does not include the majority of situations that sometimes befall our teachers. Also, this coverage is a $50,000 deductible. Let me repeat that, $50,000. It is my hope that misinformation is no longer being shared to our teachers. Thank you.
Next up, we have Miss Linda Lyons.
Linda Lyons, do you need my address? You have it. 3660 Waterside Drive, Orange Park. That new time clock is quite intimidating. So thank you all for allowing me to speak to you tonight. All of you know the topic and concern I will be addressing. I will proceed this by stating my respect for authority and by no means want to sound disrespectful or for trying to stir the pot. And I do appreciate Mr. Broski's past approval of my job extension 3 years ago. And most people do think I am crazy for not wanting to retire. I speak on my behalf and for those in the trenches, administration, teachers, support personnel, and students. These are the people that are impacted daily by this policy and the shortage of qualified teachers. How do you explain to the administrator losing sleep over test scores that an experienced, highly effective teacher is denied a classroom? How do you explain the lack of qualified applicants for administrators to hire from, yet denying them the ability to fill one, if any, vacancy with a known effective teacher? How do you explain the current job vacancies that remain unfilled in the third quarter? There's 14, as of today, there was 14 instructional and just ESE or elementary, yet county policy chooses to add to the vacancies. How do you explain to the classroom teacher who will have more responsibilities? They will need to assist the long-term sub or newly hired out-of-field teacher with planning and curriculum. How do you explain the need for creative and difficult scheduling required to provide students with instruction from qualified teachers to meet the MTSS state requirements? How do you explain this to the parent who has a child with an out-of-field or uncertified teacher? How do you explain to an advocate why the student they are representing does not have a certified ESE teacher? And how do you defend the decision to the students who we are responsible for providing them the best education possible? The assumption is that this must be a money concern, as is everything, right? I cannot imagine that many teachers are wanting to extend past 8 years. But even so, is it not worth the cost to provide veteran, experienced, and highly qualified teachers to our community? Is it not important to have teachers who are passionate about their profession? I have loved every minute of my career with Clay County Schools. I am here to remind everyone the teacher shortage is very real and has daily impacts on the students and families of our community. I am only one of thousands of teachers in Clay County, but aren't we repeatedly told that every one of us makes a difference? I thank you for the opportunity I've had to work with hundreds of students over the years. I started my career late in life, and I only wish I had started earlier. I very much appreciate you giving me this time tonight.
Next up, we have Miss Sylvia McCraney. I hope I said that right. You do not have to state your address.
Hello, my name is Sylvia, and I'm a senior in this district. I'm here to talk about book bans. Book bans have long been justified under the whole protect the children mantra. The fact of the matter is these bans do not come from a place of concern or protection, but instead they exist as a form of control. It is no coincidence that the main books being banned are those that deal with queer, black, and other minority subject matter. I had recently consulted the banned books list, and I've discovered some frightening patterns. The two most shocking banned titles that I have found were the 1984 graphic novel and the Diary of Anne Frank graphic novel. The frightening reality is that the book bans are geared towards keeping less educated uneducated. People who might be in a standard class or those who need to consume information in an illustrated medium are suffering from these bans more than anyone else. Book bans are primarily only applied to standard classes, with many honors, ACE, and AP classes remaining exempt. What would the reason be? I firmly believe that there is an effort to keep those people unaware, those who might not notice right away, or those who don't seek out literature as eagerly or excitedly as their counterparts in advanced classes. The fact of the matter is if you came for honors and college preparatory classes books, the outcry would be much more severe. What you are doing is disgusting and sneaky. You take the books from those who you see as more vulnerable targets, and I'm here to tell you that us students will no longer sit complacent while we watch more and more books be shuttled from our libraries. The bookshelves are getting emptier and emptier by the day. You might say that students can go to the public library, but there are many Title I schools in our districts. Will you pay for their transit to the public libraries? Other books that have been removed include Sophie's Choice, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and Beyond the Chocolate War. All of these works include instances questioning morality, preconceived notions, and going against the white Christian standard. If you still firmly believe that book bans protect us, then I have found one book that you should for you to ban. It contains many instances of murder, incest, rape, genocide, infanticide, abuse, and torture. I'm going to call your bluff. If your goal is to ban these things to protect your youth from seeing them, then I suggest that you ban the Bible. And I don't want to hear about the separation of church and state answer, because if the Bible is in our school systems, shouldn't all religious texts? I was unable to find the Torah or the Quran. These book bans clearly only exist to push a straight, white, and Christian rhetoric, and I'm tired of seeing these things happen. It's easier to control the uneducated, and it's easier to control those who don't know any better. As someone who was raised with the understanding that reading is not just a gift but a right, it pains me to see these book bans slowly slipping in and taking these educational mediums away. As Ray Bradbury wrote, "You don't need to burn books to destroy a culture, just get people to stop reading them." I implore you to lift the book bans and once again provide an equal playing field for everyone on their educational journeys. Thank you.
And I just want to reiterate, for Clay County School District, we only remove, we follow the law and only remove the illegal ones. Thank you. Mr. James Yule.
Hello, my name is James Ewell, and my address is on file. My wife and I attend a yearly banquet where we invite, and this individual shows up every year. He is the Adjutant General from the state of Florida, two-star general. We received a briefing from him about the state of the world and some of the information that he shared with us. Didn't get really deep into detail because it's probably not for general public understanding yet. But as the night went on, we sat and talked with him a little bit and asked him, what can schools do that might help military recruitment? Now, recruitment is up, yes, because of the election. And the question came up to us was, does Clay County allow ASVAB testing? I know at one time, is it allowed in the school? So this is kind of a question, I guess, to try to figure it out. But he requested, we find out if there is ASVAB testing done in the schools on a weekend or a weekly basis, or however you do that. I'm not unaware of it, but I do have a phone number and address of the individual in St. Augustine if, in fact, you did not conduct ASVAB. So I guess, Mr. Broski, you cleared that up. You do allow ASVAB testing in schools. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
correct. Thank you, sir. Miss Judith Chappelle.
Good evening. My name is Judith Chappelle, and my address is on file. First, I want to thank the school board for the Be Smart with Smartphones education that we received last week. It was both terrifying and informative. I went home that night and wanted to throw out the television, the cell phone, and the VR headset. I went home also the following day and spent about $100 at Staples making copies of that documentation for my friends, my church, and for some of the groups that I'm involved with. I was absolutely terrified by the information that I received. My only regret for that night was that the room was not standing room only, like this room was earlier. That was my regret, that there were not more people there to receive this information. Because according to what I heard by the Cox Information and National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1 out of 5 teens engage in sexting. My most terrifying stat was half of teens think that adults overreact about sexting. I also was terrified that the Joint Information Task Force was there saying that people radicalize children that commit these crimes against schools, and that is what's going on and why we have these school shootings. I was absolutely terrified. I know that it was said that we really did not need to bring children there. My only regret was that I did not bring my 14-year-old granddaughter to that meeting so that she could hear what was being taught at that seminar. My reason for standing here before you today is that I implore you to teach this training to junior high school students and to the high school students, that the FBI case officers who were there get in front of these junior high students and get in front of the high school students and teach these young people about what they're doing on these cell phones. So you might say, oh no, not in front of the junior high. But when that FBI agent said that there was a 6-year-old who was caught up in sextortion, you may say, no, not junior high. Oh yeah, junior high. Thank you.
Next up, Miss Shelley Hughes.
Hi, my name is Shelley Hughes, and my address is 3616 Trail Ridge Road, Millburg, Florida. I'm here to ask for your help and consideration on how to address the growing problem of teacher salaries in our county, namely veteran teachers, which have gotten the short end of the stick for decades. My husband retired from teaching with his master's degree, making almost $60,000 a year after 36 years of service in this county. The last raise he got before retiring was retiring in 2016 was in 2008. In fact, his salary decreased each year because of rising health insurance costs, and then in 2013, Governor Rick Scott decided that he did not want to pay into the Florida retirement system for teachers anymore, so he took 3% of teacher salaries to save the state of Florida money. Fast forward to today, my daughter is a veteran teacher in this county with well over 20 years of experience and makes about $55,000 a year. That is only about $5,000 a year more than a first-year teacher. 20 years and $5,000 a 5,000 difference. That's not very good. Our veteran teachers are being left out and left behind, yet they are the ones who are mentoring the younger teachers. They are wealth of resources and support for staff and administration. They are the ones being chosen to offer AP, ACE, IB, college level, and honor classes to our public school students. I'm asking you to make this a high level of concern and problem solving for this board. Surrounding counties have been tackling this problem with creative solutions to address dwindling state dollars. Nassau County is offering supplements for teachers' salaries that start at $2,000 for beginning teachers and $10,000 for veteran teachers with over 21 years of experience. St. Johns County is offering supplements for starting teachers at $4,500 to $8,275 for veteran teachers. Duval is offering $5,401. $1,000 to starting teachers up to $7,241,000 for the teachers broken down into years of experience. Because teachers' salaries have been neglected and been under assault for decades by the state, the salaries are abysmal, 50 out of 50, last place. There is always going to be one excuse after another not to address this issue for our veterans teachers. This is a fabulous county to teach in, but the harsh reality of economics forces families into tough decisions. And if that means leaving a county that they love in order to support their families, then there's several $1,000 temptation right across these county lines, and our children will be the losers. I'm asking you to be creative and proactive and in a generous state of mind when addressing these salary issues so that we can keep good quality veteran teachers here in this county for your kids, our kids, and my grandkids. Thank you very much.
Ms. Torres, you're up next. Ms. Torres?
Hello, guys. My name is Sheila Torres. My address is on file. Once again, I will discuss something about accountability, something that I always have brought into the board. Right now, I'm not doing too well. I hurt my back not too long ago, but it is important for me to come up here and speak on behalf of all the kids, not just for this district, statewide, nationwide, but all of the kids. I was just informed, speaking to other students or whatever, because I do have a reputation where I talk to my kids' friends, they go to different school, whatsoever. I was just informed not too long ago that there has been some issue where there has been inappropriate behavior of an adult to a child. Now, as I'm going through this, I'm hearing everything that's going about it. I'm doing my own research and everything, and come to find out that there was a wrestling coach within this high school, Fleming Island High School, that had inappropriate conduct with a student. Now, he did admit it within that disposition that it happened after he turned 18. But prior to that, that was his student where he was working in his private gym, as well as on campus. Now, as parents, when we put our kids on the bus or when they come onto your property, they are your responsibility to the time they get back to our house. And the fact being that some of the situation that has been ongoing is just if a child says something to somebody, a staff or admin, then it gets dismissed. Oh, that's just a kid. But we take the full weight when an adult says that. And I have experiences within this county, within the junior high school where my son was at. That's why for the last year I chose to homeschooling, because every time I brought something up to the admin, it was always dismissed. Oh, there was horsing around, there's boys being boys, there was roughhousing, there's always an excuse, but nothing was done. And yet my son was retaliated because I advocated for him. And the fact being that we as parents choose to entrust some of these coaches, some of these teachers, and we open up to them to let them know what's going on, it leaves our kids vulnerable. And they can easily manipulate them. And I'm not okay with that. There's hazing going on within the school system. There is basically adults having bad conduct with students. That to me is outrageous. And the fact being that somebody within this district has to know what's going on. Because if it's from the student, goes to the counselor goes to the admin, then what does happen after that? Why does some of these stuff get dismissed? It happened in Oakleaf High School. It's going on in Fleming High School. It had went into Clay. It has been in Orange Park High School. Now, where is the transparency? Why don't I feel comfortable as a parent ensuring my kids in your care? Now, if you really want to tell us something, and I know my time is up, and I'm seeing the safety protocol that you guys are implementing, and all you guys are saying, okay, for the audio, why don't we put a camera in these classrooms? Keep our kids and our teachers safe. Because if the teacher has nothing to hide and they're doing everything per regulation, there shouldn't be a fuss about it. And if it's our kids is coming out of line, out of character, then allow us to see it. Don't sit here and give me an excuse and tell me, well, your child behaved X, Y, and Z. Okay, let me see the video. And like I stated before, and I'm going to say it again, because I am getting tired of stuff like this getting swept under the rug and doing harm
Thank
to
you,
our
Ms.
kids.
Torres. Thank you. Next up is Ms. Chandra Holsley. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shonda Hosley. My address is on file, and it's good to see Mr. Broski, Representative Ashley, and others. I am a community member. I've been away, though, for about 2.5 years. I was in Japan overseas with my husband. He was stationed over there, and the girls and I tagged along with him. And so now we're back. I have a daughter at Fleming Island High School and another one at Thunderbolt Elementary. And I love Clay County, love our schools. But to my chagrin, one of the issues that we had before I left still remains, and that's with the busing system. And I haven't been here and haven't read any of the minutes or anything, so I'm pretty sure you guys have a plan or something in place. But at least once a week, I receive a phone call from my daughter or an automated call from the transportation department stating that buses will have to double back, buses are late, mom, bus isn't here, things like that. And I know that that was an issue coming off of COVID. So like I said, coming back, I was surprised that we're having that issue again. So I'm just asking, I'm here to ask what's being done about it, what's your plan, what's going on? Because I just didn't expect that. But everything else is going well, and like I said, I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bruce Friedman.
Hi, Bruce Friedman, address on file. I'd like to try to tie together some of the things we heard tonight. You have a teacher shortage, they have a salary shortage, you have a bus shortage, there's a funding issue with regards to maintaining 43 schools, there's a 0.5% tax bringing in tens of millions of dollars, seems to be getting spent well, but problems remain. And an easy one, getting the porn out of the libraries. Last month, 0 books were removed. That's on you. The submissions for that were made a month prior. They sat in a very peculiar limbo. I'm interested to see what you do with the batch you got this month. There should be about 40 of them. I'm submitting 2, one formal and one informal. The formal one, we'll let it go through the formal process. You'll read it. The informal one is in a dozen or more of our schools, mostly elementaries. Keywords in this book, which are not in violation of law or Florida Statute 847, but fly in the face of good parenting, at least in elementary school. Keywords: torture, beatings, execute, death, dead, dying, died, murder, kill, blood, suicide, and the key phrase, kill himself. Available to elementary school students. You might want to do something about that. Some titles were mentioned by a former speaker. Graphic novels, in particular, 1984. and the Diary Anne Frank, each of those were found to violate law. That's why they've been removed, not because we want children ignorant. The original version of Anne Frank's diary that most of us read, edited by her father, is an excellent lesson in the Holocaust. The original version of 1984, written by George Orwell, which for high school students is an excellent dystopian novel. All these things have a time and a place. Porn doesn't belong anywhere. Thank you. Have a good night.
Next up, we have Miss Vicki Kidwell with a CCEA 3-minute update. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to share the perspectives of educators in our Clay County District schools. Our children are the rock on which our future will be built, our greatest asset as a nation. Nelson Mandela. It's almost spring, the time of fair weather and blooming plants and hay fever, and for educators, the time of accelerated prep for student testing, anxiety over teacher evaluations, and thoughts of contracts and bargaining. At CCA, we're very busy, just like teachers. In our recent bargaining survey, we requested feedback on working conditions and top priorities for bargaining. Overwhelmingly, the respondents wanted veteran teacher pay and salary decompression to be a major focus of negotiations. No one who responded complained about beginning educator pay. Today, as I again address veteran teacher salary issues, I want to preface my words by saying that I am grateful and acknowledge the unprecedented investment in salaries by both the state and Clay County District schools in the last 5 years. We are grateful that the necessary infusion of millions of dollars towards salaries has made such a difference. That investment moved Clay County District Schools' starting base salary of $39,000 in 2020 to the current beginning salary of $48,500 in 2025. That's a $9,500 increase in 5 years on starting pay. Clay County District School made these gains in record time, helping to move Florida to 16th in the nation for starting teacher pay. However, despite this huge infusion into salaries, Florida remains 50th in the nation for average educator pay. Here's one reason why. We know that the lion's share of those millions of dollars was mandated by the state law to target only beginning teacher salaries. What does it mean to be 50th in the nation in average teacher salary? Again, I want to thank you for this opportunity to share our educators' story. Here's 5 stories in their own words. 1, I've been a teacher for 16 years and I've served in Clay County District Schools for the last 7. Previously, I worked in another southern state where educators were paid $4,000 for having their master's degree. In Clay, I get half that amount. If I was still working in my previous state today, I would be making over $59,000 plus $4,000 for my master's. It's hard to wrap my head around the reality of my pay here. My base salary in Clay is $51,430. 2, as a dedicated educator with 16 years of experience, I have committed my career to supporting students with exceptional needs. Despite my extensive experience and advanced degrees, my base contract pay of $51,700 remains disproportionately low compared to the cost of living and the demands of my profession. The financial strain has required me to make difficult personal and professional sacrifices, from limiting classroom resources I purchase for my students to making tough budgeting decisions at home. It's disheartening to know that veteran teachers with years of experience, expertise, and dedication continue to struggle financially. This ultimately will impact teacher retention, full staffing, and student success. 3, I'm in year 30 of teaching. My base pay is almost $60,000. I remember that a teacher friend a while back, sometime between 2010 and 2015, was making $70,000. She had been a teacher for 30 years of experience. I remember thinking, wow, it's going to be really cool when I get there. In today's market, even if we still had that base pay, I'd be doing better than I was today. How does this impact me? I could give more to those in need at my church. My house might be close to being paid off. My car wouldn't be in shambles. My kids and grands would be spoiled. And I wouldn't have to read the menu from left to right, looking at the prices first. 4, I was hired in Clay in 2012. That was the first year that by Florida statute, all teachers hired were forever after an annual contract teacher. My current salary is $51,700, and I have 13 years of experience. I'm an ESC support facilitator. I'm certified pre-K to 3, K to 6, ESE, reading endorsed, and have a civic certification among a host of other certifications. The starting salary for a first-year teacher in Clay County is $48,500. My years of experience in a very challenging position are worth an additional $3,230 over starting teacher. Putting it on paper is so deflating to me. When does the tide turn and veteran experience and expertise become properly compensated? Florida is 50th in the nation in average pay, and of the surrounding counties, veteran pay in Clay is the lowest. What is the incentive to stay in a career that values experience so poorly? I am dedicated and highly qualified educator. I should not be seriously thinking about going to Buc-ee's to run the car wash. 5, I'm a 20-year veteran teacher in the Clay County school system. My current base is $52,200, 20 years. I wanted to shed some light on my particular economic situation due to veteran teachers not being paid at the level they deserve. I am recently married, and my wife and I have very modest mortgage, around $1,000. Neither my wife nor I have a current car payment, and neither of us carries any personal credit card debt. She has 3 grown children, and I have a 15-year-old daughter that I share custody of. I say all of that to explain to you that even with me being in a pretty good situation financially compared to others, I am still struggling to make ends meet. I often stress and worry about the fact that if my car or my wife's car, both of which are over 10 years old, break down, I don't know where the money would come from for any major repairs, or especially a car payment. Another stress and worry is my daughter. She's almost the age to get her license. I have no idea how we'll be able to afford to get her a car, even a decent used one, and pay for the insurance costs associated with a new teen driver. I'm sorry, but in my honest opinion, these are not things I should have to worry about as a 20-year educator. I have done things to live within my means, and I have worked hard, often working 2 jobs. Currently, I clean houses throughout the month to earn some extra money. I don't believe my expectations are unrealistic, and I certainly don't expect, nor have I ever expected, to be wealthy as an educator. However, I also didn't expect to be living paycheck to paycheck after 20 years of pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into educating the students of Clay County. I realize that there are some things out of your control on the state and national level. However, I implore you to do anything and everything you can to raise the salaries of Clay County's veteran teachers. It's the right thing to do morally and ethically. I know that these stories are hard to hear. They're harder to live, and they are real. I know this district wants to do more for our veteran teachers, and I thank you for listening to our teacher stories. I want to end with one quote. The school is the last expenditure upon which America should be willing to economize. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
All right, next up we have Superintendent Mr. Broski for your update.
I say we bring back the kids with the buckets. Anybody want to vote? Okay. So before we start, let me just kind of recognize a couple things. I've listened to Ms. Kidwell speak, and I'm thankful that she recognizes the unprecedented amount of resources that have been put towards compensation over the last 5 years. It's $56 additional million. That would be 2.5 times any other period done. So great work has been done, and thank you for recognizing that. Initially, the legislation prevented that money to go to veteran teachers, as we all know, related to that. No one on this board, because I've talked to everybody on this topic, opposes to what you're saying. It's a matter of resources in order to do that. So I think we're all on the same page when it comes to that. I myself, as well as everybody else that was in the district, Ms. Hanson was a teacher here previously. I think it was 9 years in a row, 0 increase And then on the admin side, that was even longer for that, because the thought was that we should be examples and not because there wasn't enough money to pay everybody. So admin was left off of the list. And so when you look at it, 56 million over a 5-year period, 2.5 times as much as any other 5-year period in the history of Clay County. We all recognize the plight of veteran teachers. Nobody is denying that on here. And so we just wanted to make sure there was some clarification related to that. For the Smiley parent with the bus issue, I'll have transportation call. I'm not really sure of that particular issue. So today we've got several things. Want to talk a little bit about Schools of the Month, February highlights, the new One Clay app, and upcoming events that we have coming here. It'll be short, I promise. So Schools of the Month, Fleming Island Elementary, Wilkinson Elementary, outstanding schools. In case you didn't know, School of the Month gets the big giant pencil. In case you've been to a school, you've seen the big giant pencil in front, and $1,000. So there's some street cred that goes along with that. Family February was the theme last month. This month is Marvelous March. Okay, Marvelous March. Community First does a great job. Missy Peters over there does a fantastic job supporting our schools. So thank you to Community First for being good community partners. Okay, Miss Chappelle's, I was there that night with her at that, and I too, I was, Sue and I looked at one another and we said, oh, we've got older children, in their 30s and 20s. And so we looked at that, and I went, and truly I was surprised at the information I learned. We've tried to provide resources. You see the QR code there that's on there. You can go there and get all the resources that were there that night in order to help educate parents and make parents aware of what their children are doing online. One good thing I would say is the theme that I heard over and over again from the FBI, the sheriff's office, and everybody else is, good parenting will, of course, aid in this particular problem. And good parenting is knowing what your student's doing online, tracking them. It's okay to tell them no. Can't tell you how many times my kids have heard no. And so we recognize the issue. All of the resources that were given out that night are there for people to see from the FBI and the Clay County Sheriff's Office, who've been great partners in the work. So thank you so much.
Mr. Broski, where can parents find that?
By that QR code. We can post it on our website
But I'm
too.
wondering, can we put it somewhere on the front?
Yeah, we can put it on our website so they can see the resources under parents.
Thank you.
So we recognize the challenges there, and essentially the biggest challenge that I saw was that sometimes students or young people have more knowledge of the technology than the adults, right? And so I always feel a little intimidated by myself, and I usually go to a younger person, even a younger person that works in the district, and I say, hey, how do you do this? And they do it, right? And so we're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So educating ourselves is so important so that we can watch our young ones. But it was a great program, and yeah, it was a little scary. I was a little scared when I left there. So great information for parents. We'll make that accessible for parents. Academic competitions, the science fair, let me tell you something. We had 140 students, 50 adult volunteers. In case you don't know it, the Rotary clubs of Clay County, all are the judges. They team up. It's kind of a little community event. If you ever go out to the fairgrounds and see this, 42 category awards were given, 20 special awards were given, 14 students were nominated for states, 3 students were nominated for international. The Rotary clubs, Community First Credit Union, all donate $2,000 in order to put that program together. So it is about the science, and don't get me wrong, but I also love the community feel that I get off of the science fair. And then for the spelling bee, that was another great event. I was at a state meeting because I'm usually there, and Sue is a spelling nerd, and so she can spell a whole lot better than me. And so we sit there, and it's very nerve-wracking. The winner this year happens to be Aiden Watt, who is related to Miss Kelly Watt, proud mom over there. So congratulations to them. Now, she'll probably say something to me about saying that, but tough luck. The elementary track meet, we had it on two Saturdays, the 15th and the 22nd. It's a great community event. About 1,500 students go out there and run track. 2 schools host it, Middleburg High as well as Orange Park High. Their track teams of those schools put on the event. They kind of run the event, so there's a lot of student volunteerism also in dealing with that. Great event for students. I always say, you know, sometimes the things I remember most about school is not the stuff I learned in the classroom. It was the stuff I learned otherwise going to school, and that's a great event for students. The One Clay app. You may have noticed our new websites, as well as you'll see a new app there. We want to encourage you to download the app. You can see to the right of the picture, you can see all of the various ways in which you can interact with the district, with events there, as well as a link to Parent View. Pretty much, if you go to there, you can go anywhere that you need to go as a parent. The idea, when we heard from parents, is we're tired of having 8 ways that you communicate with us. One teacher wants this, one teacher wants that, and as a parent, then you have to figure it all out. Now we're saying we're going to push one app, and everyone will use the one app, making it easier for parents to communicate with schools. And also, by the way, teachers said the same thing, because some of the teachers are also parents, and they're like, hey, we're tired of doing this too. This is a great initiative, and you'll hear more about it as we move forward. But I want to encourage you to download the app. You can see all the events that are going on in all the schools. It's really, if I can use it, anyone can use it. That's my new mantra when it comes to the One Clay app. Upcoming events: National School Breakfast Week, National School Social Worker Week, Maintenance Working Appreciation Day. Of course, teachers are all looking forward to spring break. Students then come back on the 25th. Don't forget, March 17th is also St. Patrick's Day. I see Miss Skipper in her green today. I wore my green tie in honor of St. Patrick's Day. And that's it. Thank you so much. A lot of good hard work happening behind the scenes, and a lot of events that I'm sure board members will illustrate in their comments. Thank you so much.
All right, next up is school board attorney remarks. Any?
Just one, that we'll have a shade meeting at the workshop on March 25th. And that is it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And then school board member comments. We always start with the ladies. Tonight, I feel like we're going to start with a gentleman. Mr. Alvaro.
Lucky me. Well, I wanted to share that in the past few weeks, I've been doing my tours around the schools, and I have visited a lot of, like 7 high schools and a few elementary schools. And there's a lot of good things happening in Clay County schools. I can say that our children are very lucky to have to live in Clay County. There's a lot of good CTE programs and things that normal people in the county would not know they're happening behind the curtains. But me visiting the schools, I see a lot of good work. There's still a lot of work to do, but we continue to go forward to achieve excellence in Clay County. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Clark?
As usual, a lot of events in the past and a lot of events in the future to do. Today, I went to the 2nd annual Women in Agriculture Luncheon, which was quite unique because obviously we know that without the farms, there is no food. So it was great to hear there's a agricultural town field trips that are available to our elementary students. And it's up to the teachers to get that information and make it happen. And I know it's hard to believe, but I remember being in kindergarten. I can go back that far. And we took the train to Gustafson's Dairy. And that's what we thought of Clay County, was the dairy. So, yeah, that was pretty remarkable. And to think that the kids would have that opportunity at such a young age, it's really important. So horticulture has always been a big part of my life, believe it or not, from braiding tails of cows, going to the fair, to growing poinsettias, to doing a tree farm. So I'm glad I've had those experiences, and I hope that our children will value those in their future. I'm still reading the State of Florida Auditor General report that came out, I think, on Monday. And we just wrapped up on the Health Insurance Committee quite a few meetings, but we will discuss a lot of the information. Hopefully at our next workshop, we'll have a presentation or something that we can provide everyone. The last thing that I want to mention is that the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, I think I skipped it last month, but we're hoping to make great strides in 25. And the whole point of this, if people would just understand it, is that we're trying to make our children reading ready by the time they get to school. And it's so important. I was speaking to, I think, Pat Litter a couple weeks ago, and she was saying we're down to now having, I think, 1 month's funds available, and after that it stops. And we're only in 2 zips. And I think about how charitable Clay County is, and the fact that we can't get this running for all of our children, 13,000 of them. And the Dolly Parton organization really is covering all the books. Pretty much what we're covering is probably the cost of postage. But it's so important if we can find a way to, anybody, individually, organizations can contribute. It's real simple with the QR code. But if anybody would like information, please reach out to me. But we've got to get this going this year, make that happen for them. And I just want to thank all the citizens that sit on the Ed First Committee. Thank you, Glenn. And now what we've got with the Internal Audit Committee, because it's volunteer time, but it's very important for our community. I just want to say thank you.
Ms. Hanson?
It's just a little funny joke. So I've probably been to 25 things since January. Every single thing I've been invited to. And one day I got home, it was a 12-hour day, and my husband said, "Who do you think you are, Mary Bola?" And I said, no, I didn't go to as many as Miss Bola would have gone to. But I know she's in Australia right now, so I haven't seen her for a while at these events. So I thought I'd just run through them real quick. I'm immensely proud of the board with the internal audit arrangement that we made. We were part of the risk assessment that was done, I guess, a couple of weeks back. And the internal audit committee will start sometime in April. And I am even more impressed with the 5 or 6 volunteers that were so qualified. I couldn't believe they were going to volunteer their time to us. All internal auditors, tax attorneys, tax accountants, people who have been in this business for a long time will be serving us and serving our community on this board. I wanted to thank them. In addition, I went to Keystone Heights Elementary School. I was so impressed. Their family night, their STEAM night. It was a packed house in every building, kids yelling and playing and throwing things, driving things, smashing robots. It was just, and I had to stop at a 3rd grade teacher and look at her board because her 3rd graders were writing complete sentences. And I remember when I taught 4th grade, it was an amazing thing when a kid came to you writing complete sentences at the beginning of 4th grade year. And then from there, some other things I'd like to highlight. The spelling bee was great. Ms. Clark and I could not spell most of those words, and I'm not embarrassed about it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ms. Clark. Um, I also attended the SBJ musical. It was 30 minutes of pure joy. I've never seen, there's nothing that makes you happier than kids singing from the heart and dancing as if nothing else in the world mattered. And that was the 30 minutes of warmth that school gave to me. The parents were friendly, the smiles were genuine, and I'm really happy that I went that night. So a big shout out to them and their wonderful little musical. I went to visit the new build at Keystone Heights High School. We all saw the new concession stand, which I think everybody's going to fight now to be in the visitor side concession stand because it's gorgeous. I visited McRae Elementary School and saw firsthand when I worked there was just those little swings and a couple monkey bars. And now they have a pavilion and a $300 and something thousand with the most beautiful play equipment I've ever seen. Thank you to the citizens of Clay County for the half-cent sales tax. It's something we should brag about whenever we can. It's actually everywhere. Some people think, oh, we're not getting anything. But if you were to look at the list for the last 3 years, taxpayer half-cent sales tax has reached every single school in some kind of way. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of the people that make that happen. Thank you so much, Ms. Ellis. In addition, I have visited 21 schools to talk to teachers. I'm proud of teachers. Their stories make me cry. Their ideas make me feel like there's hope. Their solutions are real. It's not always happy, but it's real. And I'm proud of teachers for coming out and telling me exactly what they feel from their heart. Lastly, I have a goal by the end of the year to go to every single school because it's important that we listen. And it's important we work together to find solutions that will keep our teachers in the classroom. So I'm looking forward to March and reaching out to as many teachers as I can. And hopefully I can make it to every school. It's real busy this time of year. You have to schedule and reschedule 100 times to get somewhere once, but it's worth it. And that's all I have.
Ms. Hanson. Ms. Gilhausen?
I don't have a whole lot to add. My activities have existed around sports fields and gymnasiums lately. So I've been at a lot of after-school athletic events. One highlight just last week was the girls' flag football game. Green Cove Junior hosted it. It was for Clay High, and they played Columbia and absolutely annihilated them. So it's the females are representing tonight and last week. So interesting to watch, and it's been a fun season. It's been a busy one. But I love being there to cheer on the kids as they succeed in their sports. And, you know, thinking tonight about what you guys have shared and what we've heard from the audience, and just in my personal conversations with teachers, I think the theme that just has resounded is the need for parent engagement with their kids. And, you know, that cell phone seminar, I think, was a great starting point to start having some conversations about how important it is that we as parents are the primary educators of our children and that we are engaged and aware of everything that they're doing, whether it's on a cell phone or in a classroom or on a sports field, that relationship can't be replaced, and it's the most important one. So thank you all. And I'm preaching to the choir here because you obviously are all very involved with your children, but it's encouraging to see, and I hope we can have more of those kinds of conversations going forward.
A lot of the things have been talked about already that most of us have already, that most of us visited this month. We also had State of the Schools, and that was this month, right? Yeah. Okay. It's been so crazy. Yeah, last week. What am I thinking right now? Okay, so I've been going out into the community to a lot of our clubs and organizations and speaking on behalf of the board and the accomplishments that we have done and the district has done to help further student success and our teachers. And with that and the State of the Schools, I have never, I guess I hadn't, it's not that I hadn't paid attention to it, but a lot of people have no idea what goes into running a school district. And I guess just the questions and the feedback that we have received, me from speaking at a couple of places, but then even the state of the schools, even though we are separate from the we're separate from the county commission, have a separate budget, people have no idea the things that we do. Like we build schools. We don't build roads, but we build, well, technically I guess we could through our schools, but we build schools. We have to staff. We're one of the largest staffing our organizations in Clay County, in our transportation department. There's just so many things that go into running a school district. So it has been an eye-opener for me, and I have thoroughly enjoyed educating our public on all of these things because they have no idea. They think that you can just snap your fingers and fix veteran pay when veteran teachers haven't been compensated for several years. They think you can snap your fingers and fix a building over here, but they have to understand that those funds are allocated in a certain bucket, and so that has been very encouraging to see because people don't truly understand all the moving parts to the district. So just I guess me paying attention in the last month, I have really appreciated the time that I've gotten to spend with our community members and leaders and educating them further. We also got to see the new concession stand that Ms. Hanson was speaking about. When we sit here and we do all these moving parts, sometimes we don't have the opportunity to go out to see where our tax dollars are being utilized. So that was, I know the Keystone community, I know Ms. Hanson has heard from a lot of them over the last couple of years. I myself have heard from them. So I know that they are super excited about a concession stand. And it looks real nice. We got the tour, and it will be ready for next year's season, and it's ready to go now. So a lot of people didn't know that as well. And then the fair coming up, that's next month. There's a lot of our students who will be active in that, already hearing about and preparing for the fair. And I too got to sit in on the luncheon today with Ms. Clark and hearing about our agriculture and how important it is to instill that in our children, and letting them know that without farmers, without food, we can't survive. So thank you all for coming tonight, and this meeting's adjourned.